Hey, now a little tribute there to All the World's a Stage, and Fitz here from Fitz's Electric Bar. And today I'm going to do one of my feature things on mood music, one of those programs that I do periodically and focus on a particular mood or a theme. This one, mood music, is Summertime Mood Music, sponsored by Pfizer. No, not sponsored by Pfizer. Sponsored by endorphins, the great internal hormonal treat. So yeah, summertime. I think back to the old days when I used to whittle a banjo on my lap and then play it for my grandkids before I even had a wife. Let's do some revisionist history, a la the Monty Python boys. I remember working 25 hours a day. I woke up 1 hour before I went to bed. Worked 24 hours for 1p. Anyways, summertime is the focus. I'm wearing my Ryan Adams and the Cardinals t-shirt from a 2005 tour. Looks very Grateful Dead-ish, if you can, if you kind of can appreciate that. It actually is part of, was related to this particular album, Ryan Adams and the Cardinals. This one was called Cold Roses. It was a double CD. It still is a double CD, in fact. And kind of a tribute to or homage or inspired by the Grateful Dead. You can kind of see the reference there for those of you who are in the know. It's a really good record, actually. And I was interested to see the other day, every once in a while, I saw Ryan Adams not long ago, early in 2023, or sort of spring of 2023, and noticed he's actually touring with the Cardinals again. I don't know how often he does that, but I saw him solo, and really cool to see that he's back touring with the Cardinals, and perhaps we'll play some songs from this, not coming through, I don't think Vancouver. I don't even know if the Pacific Northwest is on the schedule. Maybe Portland, can't remember. But anyways, this is actually very summery, especially if you think about it being kind of Grateful Dead inspired, and Easy Plateau on the second side of this really helps kick off the summer, and color of the t-shirt and the Grateful Dead aspect. So I'm actually, one of the things that's got me stoked about summertime is Dead and Company. So I'm going to go down and see them at the Gorge for a couple shows. And I think back to the old days when I used to go down and, or I'd go see the Grateful Dead. Something about seeing the Grateful Dead. They toured different seasons, but there was something about going to see a Summer Dead show, Rich Stadium when I was living in Toronto, things like that. Grateful Dead somehow to me screams summer. This particular release, Sunshine Daydream, famous show in Veneta, Oregon. This was a release from dead.net. Beautiful, beautiful box. Nice kind of waxy surface to this, which is, it just feels good in the hands. Just some amazing artwork on here. But yeah, this was a show, August 27th, 1972. And this was the same tour that they went through Europe and then came through Oregon. But the live footage of this, so there's video that comes with this, a DVD, is great. It was like boiling hot in Veneta, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it, but Veneta, Oregon. They were doing a fundraiser for the Spring Creamery, I believe, related to the Kesey family. And the show was fantastic. Like the video footage, the recording is really, it's legendary. And it was smoking hot. So I was looking at the Gorge, George Washington, Washington State, where we're going to be seeing Dead and Company do their two final shows here in the Pacific Northwest before they close off in San Francisco. And the temperatures are running around 35, 36 degrees. Crazy, crazy, crazy hot. So a lot of sunscreen and coverage. Got to find ways to cover. So got the hat that I picked up when I was back east, my recent trip. And for me, this feels very summery as well. The t-shirt got the lobster on there and everything. Anyways, I'm thinking about the old days again. I find myself thinking about the old days a lot these days. These days, I think about the old days. Putting together compilation cassettes, mixtapes, basically, and how much I love doing that. And whenever there'd be a changeover in the seasons, it was usually an excuse for me to be able to, record some music and share some cassettes with friends. And I have some records here that either I'll sort of talk about the record, or I will talk about a song off the record that might go on to the proverbial summer mixtape. So what is the difference between summer and spring and fall and winter in terms of music? Well, for me, I guess, first of all, there's the kind of the cliche of songs that literally reference summer, and there are ones that just jump to mind. And that's fun, but it's also, you got to use that in sparingly, as it were. It can't be all references to summer. It's also the feeling of summer. So what is the feeling of summer? Well, for me, it tends to be very upbeat, happy. It's the kind of music that you can imagine driving in a convertible or in a car with the windows rolled down, and you're blasting the music because you want everybody to hear what you're playing. So that's not going to be really introspective, ambient, somber music. It's going to be upbeat, positive, energetic. And of course, all genres, I think jazz and rock and roll and soul and other, forms of music, R&B, they all have aspects of them that, if not completely, about high energy, positive, all that kind of stuff. Interestingly, when you think about, let's say, reggae, and this is true for a lot of different kinds of music, the music could be very upbeat and sound very positive. And if you slow down a bit and listen to the music, you suddenly realize, holy smokes, this is, about exploitation or, being in a really difficult way. And the music, it kind of counteracts the lyrics. That's kind of interesting, that whole thing, when you're feeling like, oh, this is really catchy. And then you sort of go, holy smokes, this is pretty heavy duty stuff. So let's just jump in. I don't know, a band that for me screams summer, the Undertones. They have a song, not on this record, called Here Comes the Summer, which is a good one, but really anything. Teenage Kicks, Get Over You. Their songs, 2-minute gems. You could intersperse this with the Ramones, but just fantastic high energy summer songs. Love the Undertones. Another one, would be the Velvet Underground. I think, especially Sweet Jane and Rock and Rolls off of this, or off of Rock and Roll Animal, the live album. Somehow just pure summer for me. I think all things Motown, and the Supremes, this Supremes A Go-Go record, you could pick anything off of here pretty much. This is a fabulous record. Early Supremes, You Can't Hurry Love, I Can't Help Myself, just a great record. Supremes. Diana Ross and the Supremes scream summer. It's a band that many of you may or may not know. I believe it was a British band, the Bluebells, but there was a great single on this record called Kath, right there. Just a great pop song. They're kind of like a perfect, pure pop kind of band, not punky at all, just some nice songs. And Kath is a great summer song. Put that on your summer mixtape. Flamin' Groovy is always good for a mixtape. Shake Some Action, or maybe the song You Tore Me Down off of Shake Some Action, which is great. Great cover too, right? I'm wondering, I don't imagine any of these guys could afford that car, so they brought the car in, or maybe they just all gathered around a car. So another band that I lost touch with, but I remember seeing years and years ago, the Fleshtones. They're kind of like a R&B rave up type of band, kind of band that would appear on Nuggets or something like that, but they came after the whole Nuggets explosion. This record's great. The Dreg, Shadowline was a great song as well. Fleshtones, excellent band. I think they're from the East somewhere. This has just been reissued. I just picked up the reissue, but Feast of Wire, Calexico. The Tex-Mex sound of Calexico, perfect for summer. I think Quattro is a good one, and Well, there's just a lot of stuff off of here. There's just a lot of, again, I kind of come back to this idea of space in music. A lot of space in a lot of their songs, some really nice instrumentation and subtlety with some really catchy hooks. Going to be seeing them in a few weeks at the Vancouver Folk Festival, so I'm really looking forward to that. This is a really interesting compilation. I don't know where I heard about this, but this is really, this is music that I would not have listened to years ago. It is definitely kind of middle of the road, easy listening music. But I'm finding this stuff kind of more palatable now in my older age. There's this has been really well curated. There's actually a couple volumes of this. We Are the Children of the Sun. Don't know any of the songs or any of the artists, just kind of learning about them now. But, right from the first track off of this record, which is Jim LaMarche with Teresa Moylan and the Music Industry Arts. Again, I don't know that anybody really moved on and became well known from any of the releases on this, but these are all, I think, basically singles that were curated by, forget the name of the gentleman, but it's really good. And it's the whole record is, because of its easy listening quality, the whole record is really, it just flows really well, and some of it is a little bit cheesy, but I've said before on this channel, I can handle cheese. I don't know what it is when some stuff just makes me vomit, and other stuff I find kind of sweet or humorous. The obvious one, I've shown this a few times recently, but just loving this recording. So the MoFi release of Porgy and Bess. This is a double 45 RPM 2-disc record. Of course, it's got the song Summertime on it as well, Gershwin. It is just a fabulous record, Bess, You Is My Woman Now. Here Comes the Honeyman, I've mentioned before. Summertime for sure. My Man's Gone Now. There are just so many great songs, and really a wonderful record with Miles Davis. And the orchestration of Gil Evans. It's really, really good. Another artist that I really enjoy, Sharon Jones and the Dap Kings. Just a total powerhouse, and the Dap Kings, the recordings, I think they do all analog recordings. They're trying to recreate or create a sound very similar to sort of 70s R&B and soul music. It's got it definitely some, because of Sharon Jones, I think, and the way she sings, a real oomph to it, a real power. She Ain't a Child No More off of this is a really great tune. So a lot of really good stuff on here. She Ain't a Child No More. This is a nice record. Summer. In the fall, it's all about introspection, questioning your life, recognizing that things are coming to a close. But the summer, boy, life goes on forever. Life's eternal. This is great. These Stax compilations, Isaac Hayes, Staple Singers, Respect Yourself. A lot of the stuff that I heard for the first time, Albert King, I'll Play the Blues for You. Something really obscure like, what is it? Judy Clay and William Bell, Private Number. My brother and I just love that tune. It kind of makes you laugh, and you also love it. You sincerely love it, but it also is kind of over the top. Twice as Tight. I think that was covered by The Clash at one point. And Dramatics, What You See Is What You Get, Mr. Big Stuff, Gene Knight, those kinds of things. Just this whole Stax sound just screams summer to me. In fact, when I'm kind of feeling overwhelmed by winter blues or whatever, then I put this on. It's as good as a sad lamp to kind of give me some energy and positivity during the despair of the winter. Another kind of great compilation. This one isn't nearly as good. It goes all over the place. So Millie Jackson and James Brown, the Shy Lights covering Stoned Out of My Mind, things like that. The OJs, not the best tracks, but it's a fun little compilation, and it's one of the old K-Tel. 22 fantastic hits from 22 fantastic stars. Summer, King Sunny Ade, and Juju Music. I think Juju Music is goes beyond the name of this album, but actually, music from the area of, is it Nigeria? I'm sorry, yeah, Nigeria. But saw him again recently. I remember seeing King Sunny Ade years ago in Toronto in the 80s, I guess, and it was quite the cultural experience. I felt like I was one of the few white boys in the crowd, which is kind of a fun and interesting experience because you realize you're kind of, well, you're certainly not invisible. You're thinking what it might have been like for somebody in a reverse situation, what that might have been like for them. It's probably a very healthy thing to experience. But mostly it was like I just walked into something that was not of my culture, and it was fascinating. It was so cool. He was up there playing with the band. There was a lineup of people, and they would come up on stage, like from the audience, and they'd pin bills onto his forehead, and there'd be somebody there taking the bills and putting them into a bucket. And that was kind of a part of the show, and I think it was a sign of respect. I mean, I don't really know all the details, but again, I was kind of just, my mouth was agape trying to take it all in, and the music was very powerful, and it was a really great show. That's Summer, King Sunny Ade. I don't have any reggae in my pile here right now. I seem to have lost a lot of reggae during the famous floods of the 80s and 90s. I think I had 2 rounds of it. But Doors of Your Heart, Walk Away, a couple of English beat songs that are really great off of this record. Everybody knows the first one. Just can't stop it, but this is also an excellent record. I believe this is the English Beat's second record. Summer and Sam Cooke, a nice little compilation. You could just take your pick, You Send Me, I always think is fabulous. Only 16. Just the sweetness of this guy's voice. I don't know if you ever saw the movie One Night in Miami, but I thought it was a great movie. Just the gathering together of Jim Brown, the football player, and Muhammad Ali, I think, and Sam Cooke, and they were just talking about the civil rights movement, or the black movement, and Sam Cooke at that time, I guess, was portrayed as being very agnostic towards that, or not wanting to bring that politics into his career, and he got somewhat politicized, and then later wrote A Change Is Gonna Come. I hope I have that right. Anyways, Sam Cooke. Very Summer and Sam. I don't know why, but Buffalo Springfield, more than Neil Young, more than maybe the Byrds, but Buffalo Springfield really reminds me of Summer. Sit Down, I Think I Love You. It's part of it, I think, is the innocence of the sound of these recordings, because later there comes a lot more of an edge, and maybe a whole bunch of other stuff, but just the sound of this record sounds like so beautiful in a way, and I guess beautiful and summer for me go together. So this is a really kind of summery record from my perspective. Summer, bluegrass, I don't know if you'd necessarily put Gillian Welch and Dave Rawlings into the bluegrass category, but they're certainly adjacent to it if they're not. This is just a beautiful record. This was reissued. I don't know if you can tell, but it's a gorgeous hard cardboard stock and just a stunning artwork on it. I love this. It's got a nice gatefold to it as well. Really well done. The stuff that they do on their label, which is the, I don't know how you pronounce it, Acony, A-C-O-N-Y, really nice. But this record is a wonderful record. Not exactly what you'd call a happy record, really. The Harrow and the Harvest. And you can tell from this that it's kind of got a heaviness to it. But The Way It Goes is a lovely song off of this, and there's just something about bluegrass that to me also screams summer, and the beautiful finger picking and vocals of Gillian Welch. This one, The Harrow and the Harvest, summer, summer, summer. And coming to a close, For some reason, this for me is a very summery kind of record, Black and Blue. I brought this up a few times. There's certain artists or albums that I almost feel like I am kind of an evangelist for. I've mentioned Daniel Romano before. I'm going to do more stuff on him. I just feel like he's underappreciated, and not that the Rolling Stones are underappreciated in any way, but I don't think this record gets the love that it maybe should. Black and Blue, first one with Ron Wood, and Hot Stuff, the lead-off song on this. This is the lead-off song, isn't it? Yeah, no tracks listed on here, but Hot Stuff is great. It's just got this great funky jam to it, and yeah, it belongs on a summer mixtape for sure. So that's it for now. Carpe diem, MFs. I hope you're having a good summer and that you've got some great plans and adventures. And I'll let you know when I come back from the gorge a little bit about the Dead and Company stuff. Keep it short, but carpe diem.